all came back together, but Christine Majerus then broke away and bridged to the leaders. She picked up 3 bonus seconds in the Iceberg Sprint at Staveley and at one stage had a 2-minute advantage over the green jersey, making her race leader on the road. That sparked a response in the peloton and they steadily whittled down the gap. As leaders approached the finish at Chesterfield, first Shadow Gillow and then Leah Kirkman were dropped, and with the peloton chasing fast, Christine Majerus and Sarah Roy battled it out for the win.
Well, look at the smile across the face here of Sarah Roy. She's going to make it to the line. This is going to be a great victory for Orica Scott. She punches the air with delight and clinches the stage.
Kasia Niodoma has an all but unassailable lead of 1 minute 25 seconds over her nearest rival, Christine Majerus. Leah Kirkman is in line for a podium finish, but she has Ellen van Dijk and the Barnes sisters hot on her heels. Well, Rochelle, it's a beautiful day here in central London, in sharp contrast to yesterday up in Derbyshire. It was a tough day for the riders, wasn't it?
It was a really, really tough day. I mean, it had the wind and the rain as a challenge, but it was especially for Kasia Niodoma, who's leading the Ovo Energy Women's Tour in the green jersey. She had so much pressure on her yesterday to cover all the moves and stay in contention of winning this race. So it was a tough day for a lot of riders. Everybody's getting really, really concerned about maybe not having won a stage. So it's the build-up to this and London. This is the big day today.
Well, will we see Sarah Roy in action? Of course, she came down very hard, a worthy winner of the stage, but she came down hard on the cobbles at the end, didn't she?
Yeah, she was really embarrassed about that. She did a little victory salute over the line, and then another 100 metres later, she went to do the 2 hands. It was wet, it was cobbles, very slippery, and she crashed. Her bike went sideways, a really awkward crash. She suspected that she'd broken her scaphoid in her wrist, and this morning I haven't heard how she is, but let's hope that she's okay. And I think if there's any chance, even with a small fracture, she'll be on the start line today.
We will see the riders on the start line very shortly. First, though, let's just take a look at today's route. The Ovo Energy Women's Tour visits the capital for the first time. Starting and finishing on Regent Street, just below Piccadilly Circus, Stage 5 consists of 10 laps of a 6.2 kilometre circuit that passes many of central London's most famous landmarks. Incorporating sites such as Piccadilly Circus, Trafalgar Square and Whitehall, the London stage is great for spectators looking to see the world's top riders racing on the streets of one of the world's most iconic cities. Cycling continues to grow in London, with well over 650,000 journeys being made by bicycle every day. So it really is a spectacular finale to this year's Women's Tour, Rochelle, and we've talked all week about how things might pan out, but today's going to be a sprint finish. Surely it's going to be a bunch finish.
You would think it's going to be a bunch sprint, and all the sprinters are thinking about this big day in London. That's what's been on their minds. That's what they've been thinking about. This will be a huge victory for any sprinter. But we've got such a race on our hands with the GC that, you know, Bowles is the team of Lizzie Dargman. They're sitting in second position with Christine Majerus, and I don't think they're the type of team that are just going to sit back and not try to take that GC. So they need to make up over a minute's time today. So I think that there's going to be a lot of attacking for the GC. We've got 2 races within one. We've got the contenders for the GC to win the overall, and we've got the sprinters wanting to get a stage. So I think it's going to be a very aggressive race, and it's not a given that it'll come down to a sprint.
And some of the most iconic sites of London are on this route. It's quite a technical route in places as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a technical circuit and the roads are not super wide, and there's a couple of hairpins, but there's a lot of space on this circuit to pick up a lot of speed as well, so it's very technical. A lot of riders will want to stay at the front, out of trouble, to avoid an accident, I think, because there's so many nerves and so much, you know, the riders just really want to win today. So I think that it's going to be a really exciting race.
Who is going to win this one?
Well, if it comes down to a sprint, and I'm not 100% sure that it will, but Jolien Daughter, she's recently won the World Championships on the track. She is super fast, of the Wiggle High Five team, and Wiggle High Five, they've not won a race here this week, so they want this one so bad. And she has the support of Giorgia Bronzini, who's won Ride London here in London. So I think that team for a sprint is really strong, but we saw the Australian sprinter win, Chloe Hosking, just a few days ago, and she'll be keen for another win as well. So I think if it comes down to a sprint, you've got Jolien Daughter and you've also got Chloe Hosking, the Australian, but also some outside chances from Team Sunweb. Bowles have a lot of sprinters as well. So, but I think the fastest of the fastest here for this course, I think, would be Jolien Daughter.
Thanks, Rochelle. So we'll get the stage underway very shortly. A great race in prospect, but it's not the only event happening in central London here today.
I was down here in Trafalgar Square for Breast Cancer Care's Pink Ribbon Tour. It's a fantastic cycling event. 1,000 women are going to be taking to the same course that the professionals are going to be cycling this afternoon, and they're all raising money and awareness for breast cancer care. We know that after a diagnosis of breast cancer, exercise can be really beneficial. A lot of people find it's a really positive way to take control of their body again, and also there is now proof that exercise after a
For me to want to be involved in activities that bring us together, we've supported each other through thick and thin, and an event like this, being part of one of the most prestigious women's bike races that there is just a great opportunity to spread the word.
I'm so proud that the finale of the Women's Tour for the first time ever is taking place here in London. It's great to see Breast Cancer Care raising really important funds for the charity, and we've had women riding through London for Breast Cancer Care. We'll have loads later on today for the actual finale of the Women's Tour. One of the great things about the Women's Tour coming to London is it will help encourage, inspire many other girls and women to cycle, which is good for all of us.
To be part of a celebration tour for 25 years of Pink Ribbon is just a real privilege, and as somebody that's now classed as a breast cancer survivor and has had that great support from Breast Cancer Care, I really want to give something back and to continue to help inspire and spread the word and motivate other women.
Great support there for the Pink Ribbon Ride, and now it's time to get to the race proper, the final stage of the OVO Energy Women's Tour, with commentary from Sharon Laws and Hugh Porter.
We're all ready to start stage 5, the final stage of the OVO Energy Women's Tour. 62 kilometres, 10 6.2 kilometre laps, a clockwise circuit, and there are 78 starters waiting to navigate their way around this technical loop.
Yes, Hugh, I think this is going to be such an exciting stage. It's an opportunity for the women to showcase their cycling to the world.
So much to play for, because the overall general classification is still very tight indeed. Nui Adama is still in the green jersey and is virtually in an unassailable position, but the rest of the positions are very much available. There's going to be a titanical struggle in the sprints because there are seconds available there. There are the standings, you can see. Majuras is second at 1:25, but I can tell you 10th place is Elisa Longo Borghini at 2 minutes, so that means that 9 riders are within 35 seconds of each other, so that is very close.
That's right, it's going to be such a race for the GC, for podium positions, but also for the stage win. Wiggle High Five, of course, haven't had a stage win here, and Ale Cipollini, the other very strong sprinter team, and they'll be wanting another win with Chloe Hoskin.
And of course this circuit today, Sharon, a complete marked contrast to what the riders have been battling over with rain and hills.
That's right, no big mountains, no hills. It's going to be very fast.
They're just threading their way around the circuit here, and look at this already. There are riders from Boels Dolman all lined up at the front, and it's Anna van der Breggen, the Olympic champion, that's stretching them out. Now then, they seem to have some sort of a game plan here.
Definitely looks like it. Anna van der Breggen's on the front, followed by 3 other Boels Dolman's riders. You can see Majerus is the 4th wheel there. They'll be protecting her because, of course, she holds 2nd place at the moment on the GC.
Now, what's the plan here? I mean, all teams don't have a super specialist that can sprint from a big bunch, so do you think they're going to be happier if they can dissect the field?
Well, I think actually they're probably more likely to be going for this first sprint point because, of course, there are these valuable seconds up.
But it is noticeable that the green jersey is there. She reads all the moves perfectly, so if Boels Dolman want to try and fragment the field, she's going to go along with them.
That's right, and she's doing really well here. She doesn't have such a strong team as the Boels Dolman squad, but it looks like Boels have really set the hammer down, and there's a big gap already. Well,
Christine Majuras, second overall at 1 minute and 25 seconds. Her nearest challenger is Leah Kirchmann, third at 1:36. So it'll be interesting to see whether Kirchmann has made the split here. But that gap is actually beginning to increase.
It is. You can see Hannah Barnes here, though, in the British Young Riders jersey, the pink jersey. So she's definitely made the split, which is good for her.
Well, of course, this circuit takes in all the iconic landmarks. They're going down Whitehall now, and then, of course, they'll be making their way back towards Trafalgar Square. They'll see Big Ben, that landmark in the centre of London, and that, of course, is the mark that everybody will be focusing on. But the group are still moving clear, and this is good riding then by the Bowman's team.
This is very good riding. You can see Neodoma in the green jersey though. She's sitting, I think, 6th wheel there, so she's a fantastic ride by her to be in this group.
Now that shot there, Sharon, just shows how the finishing straight ramps up.
Yes, and that could catch some riders out if they start their sprint too early.
Well, they're just coming over the line, the group, so that's lap 1 tidied up, 9 more to come and 2 sprints. This is the leading group, and they're about to start lap 3. Now, at the end of this lap, there will be the first in the iceberg sprints, and how important is that going to be? Because remember, there are points available and seconds, so GC and the classification in that competition will all be up for change.
And what's more important for the riders is going to be the seconds rather than the points.
Well, I can tell you that Jolene Dora isn't there. She's the leader of the iceberg sprints classification, but Christian Majerus is, and she only trails Dora by 2 points. But of course, it is all about getting those vital seconds.
But more importantly is Leah Kirchmann, who's missing from this group. And of course, she needs those seconds for the GC position.
And Kirchmann started the stage 3rd overall at 1 minute and 36 seconds back. Anna Barnes is in this group. She started at 1:41. So there's a great chance that she can chip away at the distance that they are separated if Barnes can figure here in the sprint.
And she has her teammate Lisa Brenner there, who of course has won the women's tour before, so we know that Lisa will be working, and she's a very good sprinter to help lead Hannah out for this sprint point.
Brenner, a former world time trial champion, and as you said, a former winner of this race, and that's a very powerful, strong wheel to have to lead you out. But also there is the green jersey, watching every single move. There's no way she's going to let anybody go away and deny her the overall victory. Well, that's a great shot, isn't it? It's almost like a pursuit here. The peloton coming up, the break going down, and it's 30 seconds the advantage, so there's a good chance they could stay clear here for the first charge to the line for points.
Sunweb here on the front, that's Ellen van Dijk. Of course, there's no Sunweb represented in this group, so they'll be wanting to get back there.
And Ellen van Dijk herself is 4th overall, and she'll be smarting at the fact that she's missed this move, so she's going to try and really break away.
That's a puncher for Lisa Brenner. That's not good for Hannah Barnes, because now she's lost her only teammate in that group.
So the rider that was going to be possibly leading Anna Barnes out, as you saw, has stopped for a wheel change, and there's no way at this kind of speed that she is going to pick up the brake. In fact, look, that's a very slow change.
It's a very slow change. She's going to really struggle to get back onto this now with the speed that the peloton are going.
And remember, it's a sprint at the end of this lap, so the pace is likely to increase even more, and that 30 seconds is coming down, but the group ahead are going to stay clear to contest the sprint.
It's great to see that Neodoma also has a teammate in this group, which was going to be supportive for her.
Well, they're coming off Trafalgar Square and heading up the Strand now.
Brand on the front for Sunweb, Lisa Borghini for Wiggle High Five, and Ashley Moorman in the red helmet for Bigler. They're the big teams that have missed this move. It's
going to be a very big sprint indeed, this, and Barnes will need to be very sharp to try and get herself in a good position.
She will. With this train, Bulls Dolmans, Majerus has 4 teammates supporting her.
So Barnes is a very good sprinter, British National Road Race champion, and she actually won the final stage in the Tour 2 years ago in Hemel Hempstead, and she has been very, very impressive throughout this Tour.
Canyon SRAM, their 3rd wheel, that's Trixie Warak. She's just disrupting this chase because, of course, she has Hannah Barnes up in front.
But the strength of the Bowles Dolman team, having 5 in this group, is very, very dangerous, and they're looking after the interests, of course, of Christine Majerus.
Yes, it's incredible. We've got 5 riders out of 8 on the Bulls Dolman squad. But what's really impressive is also to see that Neodoma, the green jersey leader, she's made that group, and she has a teammate as well.
And she can profit from the work that's being tapped out here by the Bowles Dolman team. She doesn't have to contribute to the pace. All she's got to do is just follow their wheels.
Yeah, she just needs to finish on the same time. She won't be going for a stage win today.
Well, they're on their way back now to Trafalgar Square, and then it'll be up to Whitehall.
We've got Chantal Black on the front here. She's one of the lead-out girls. She's a very, very strong girl and very good rider.
So I'm just wondering if they're going to try and launch Mazuras here for the 3 seconds, because that would be useful, but it's not going to be any good to try and close down on the 125. She trails Nui Adoma, because Nui Adoma is in this group.
Bulls will be wanting to maintain this second place on GC though, and I think having the points will also be a bonus for the sprint jersey, but probably not the priority.
Well, the race is being run off at an electric pace in the early stages here. They'll be going down Whitehall, and then at the bottom it's a U-turn on yourself, which disrupts your rhythm, and then they'll be going up past Downing Street. And these are the kind of circuits where you always need to try and maintain a good position near the front of the peloton, because if you're at the back where it swings around, you can quickly lose contact.
It's actually much harder at the back than it is at the front, even though it sounds like it shouldn't be. But obviously, as people go around the corners, you're losing the wheel, and you have to keep doing that extra jump to get back onto the wheel. It's a much better place to be if you can stay near the front. But of course, that's where everybody wants to be.
Well, that's Corivar right at the back of this group. She's on WM3 Energy, and remember that they've lost their team leader, and that's Marianne Vos. So Corivar will be there to try and help the green jersey as we sight the peloton going the other way down Whitehall, now past the cenotaph, and they're heading up towards the little turn, the little kink in the road where it swings left and then right up to the finish.
Well, Corivar losing a little bit of contact there, which was just what we were saying. When you're right at the back, it's much harder. You can see Wiggle High Five were on the front there driving the peloton, because of course they've missed this group and also the opportunity to go for the points.
Anna van der Breggen is on the front here, the Olympic champion who's come into this race in very, very good form indeed. And there we are, that is the Ministry of Defence buildings, and just beyond is Horse Guards Parade, and on the left that was one of the venues for the Olympics, for the beach volleyball actually. And we get an aerial shot here of the peloton, and they are actually closing the advantage down that the group has set, but it's not going to be quick enough. They are going to stay away to contest the sprint.
Sashi Moolman on the front in the red helmet from Bigler. She's only 20 seconds off second place, so she would have also wanted to have been in this group to contest the seconds for the sprint.
And Ashley Moolman finished second overall in this race last year. So now then, we're getting very, very close to this sprint. Remember, it ramps up quite significantly, so you need to get it spot on. It's no good going too early, because you could just run out of power. But there's so much at stake here. There's time and points, and here they go now. They're beginning to gather themselves, ready for the launch to the line. Look at this, the two riders really going for it, and that's Bonds and Mazuras up to the line. Well, from that angle, we'll have to wait for that to be confirmed, but it was Bonds and Mazuras that were the first two over the line.
And Eva Doma, of course, was third there. She's just telling the other riders that she's still there.
And front shot of the peloton, they are definitely starting to close down on the leaders. Now there is the result, the first three. Anna Bonds picking up the 3 points ahead of Mazuras, and third was the overall race leader Nui Adoma. Now that means now that Mazuras is joint leader with Jolyon Dor in the Iceberg Sprints competition. But importantly in the overall general classification, Bonds has now come up to fourth equal. Now that means that 3 seconds has proved to be very fruitful indeed. This is the bunch approaching the line to start lap 6, and at the end of this lap it will be the second and final charge for the line in the Iceberg Sprints classification. I can tell you that the breakaway group were absorbed between the last sprint and this one, so they're all together now, and the pace has been really high, around 41 kilometers per hour, so that is moving.
Sunweb and Wiggle High Five would not have wanted that group to go away. Obviously Leah Kirchmann in third place on GC, Sunweb need to protect that place. And I know Wiggle are very keen for a stage win today. Audrey Cordon said the jerseys weren't enough for them, and they're going to be very determined.
You can see a rich mix of different teams all across the front there, and they're all preparing, of course, to get their sprinters in the right position, ready for the next sprint. This is one of the U-turns on the course that I mentioned earlier on that disrupts the rhythm. Riders from Ayla Cipollini were near the front. Oh, that's one way of going around.
Yeah.
Put your foot down.
I don't think that's the quickest way of going around, though. And that's what we were saying before. If you're at the back, it's much, much harder.
So, Team Sunweb right there, Canyon SRAM. Obviously, the riders from Canyon SRAM are going to be looking after the interests of Anna Barnes.
The whole team's behind Hannah Barnes today. She's really excelled in this race and she's shown what she's capable of. She's actually worked very hard for her team over the last year. Of course, she had a very nasty accident in August 2015 and it took a while to come back from that, but it's really impressive to see her perform so well here.
Just recapping on the first sprint, 3 seconds taken by Barnes because she was first over the line, and that of course has taken her time to 1:39 back, so she is tying with Ellen van Dijk in equal fourth spot. So if she could replicate that position in this sprint, well, that's going to move her up again.
It looks like Sunweb have other ideas though. They're coming up together. They're already got their sprint train ready. You could see Leah Kirchmann there sitting third wheel because of course she needs those seconds as well to keep her third place on GC.
Yeah, Leah Kirchmann is 1:37 back. So at the moment she's 2 seconds in front of Hannah Barnes. So we can expect Kirchmann and Barnes to be in the shake-up for this one.
That's Lizzie Degnan on the front there. She's going to be working hard for Christine Majeras coming up for the sprint. And Liz is really driving this now.
So Lizzie Degnan there, swinging round the corner and pulling the field along. She has been sick during the race, but it's looking as though she's starting to get over that problem.
She's closely followed there by Trixie Warak, who's from Hannah Barnes's team on Canyon Shram. Oh, that's Danny King attacking there. Danny King from Silence with the green helmet.
Yeah, Danny King trying to go away here. And she, of course, is an Olympic champion for the team pursuit. And now Danny King trying to steal a march on the rest. That would spoil it for the sprinters.
It would, and if she can take these seconds, she could also move up her placing on the GC.
Yeah, every second counts, and everybody wants to excel here in the heart of London. Trying to win a stage in a capital is something that looks very, very impressive on your CV.
There was a gap there, but I think everybody just wants this to come to a sprint finish, so I'm sure all these gaps are going to be closed.
Well, I think Canyon Shram are very, very alert here because they're trying to place Barnes in the right position, and also Bowles Dolmans are looking after Majuras. That's why the escape by King didn't last very long.
They are. Lizzie Degnan back on the front here, but Trixie Warak protecting Hannah Barnes there in the pink jersey. Lisa Brenner's on Hannah Barnes's right-hand side. You can see she's just chatting to her there. They'll be making a plan for this next intermediate sprint.
And Majuras is also right up near the front, and also the green jersey of Nui Adoma coming round the Aldwych and then back down the strand. I think you'll notice a sense of urgency creeping into this as they get closer to the sprint.
Lizzie Dynan's still driving this on the front there. We've got Ashley Molman from Bigler. She's coming through on the left-hand side.
Haven't seen anything of Chloe Hosking at the moment. She's staying in the wheels. She's already had stage victory on this event, and she actually won La Course Paris at the end of the Tour de France on the Champs-Élysées, so this kind of course will suit her. So if she can get a quiet ride in the wheels, she could be another sprinter to look out for.
It definitely would be, and of course she'll be hiding and we won't see her till the end, I'm sure.
But a lot of other riders are putting themselves about, in particular Canyon Shram, the Italian champion, Cicchini on the front, and then Tiffany Cromwell, two teammates of Hannah Barnes.
Both very good sprinters, and it's really great to see them all behind Hannah Barnes for this race.
It's all a matter of just getting yourself in the right position, isn't it? The Dutch champion is just a little bit further back.
Yes, Anusa Koska, she'll be taking care of Neva Doma, of course, in the green jersey, and it's great that she's got her teammates here.
Absolute glorious conditions then for the final stage, and the riders are really turning on the style here in the city of London. That's Frapporti, the Italian on high-tech products, right at the back of the group.
Looking like she's got a problem with her Garmin there.
And there's a rider also there from Drops, and Alice Barnes has had a fantastic tour, the younger sister of Hannah Barnes, and of course Alice rides on the Drops team. And it looks like more Canyon Shram riders are starting to weave their way through.
That's right, it looks like Canyon Shram have got a very big plan here. 4 riders at the front protecting Hannah Barnes, ready for this intermediate sprint.
Trying to set up a lead-out train. This is quite a normal practice when you look after your sprinter.
And obviously, normally this just happens at the end of the race, but these points are so important, or these seconds rather, are so important that that's why we're seeing it so early in the race.
They could underpin a podium position. That's how important they are, Sharon. And the race now is tearing its way down Whitehall onto Parliament Square.
It's a good shot of Katie Archibald there from WNT, of course, another British rider in the race.
Yeah, Katie Archibald's had a good tour. And if she hadn't have crashed the other day, she may have finished higher up on the stage. And you're coming to a turn again here, so you'll see just exactly how it does disrupt the speed.
I used to hate these turns. It's really awful, especially at the end of a stage race when you've got tired legs and you really have to jump on those heavy gears to get back up to speed as you come around the corner.
It's almost like a queuing up procedure, isn't it? Riding Criterium is probably one of the hardest disciplines there are. But look at Nui Adoma, fourth back, just sitting in the wheels of the Canyon SRAM riders. She rides with a very, very wise head that belies her young years.
She does. It's such an impressive ride. She knows where to be. She doesn't have such a strong team behind her, but they're doing as much as they can, and she's just playing this really smart.
Vita Hein of Norway right at the back. But it's all about this at the front, isn't it? The Italian champion just swings over, allowing two of her teammates from Canyon SRAM to continue fanning the flames here to try and set the pace as high as possible, ready to launch Hannah Barnes.
She'll have done her turn as hard as she can, and now it's Lisa Brennar's turn. Trixie Worak sitting behind Lisa Brennar, and then Hannah Barnes, of course, in this pink jersey.
And also we expect Mazuras to be in the shake-up as well. She finished second in the first sprint to Barnes.
Yeah, Majerus is coming. Oh, you could see there an elbow from Lucinda Brandt. Just everybody's fighting for their position.
It's so important, this, isn't it? Remember, 3 seconds, 2 seconds and 1 second on the line, and how important are they going to be?
Yeah, actually that elbow was from Leah Kirchmann, because of course she's the one who needs to battle for these seconds.
Canyon SRAM then still on the front as they come into this little chicane. Out of the saddle at the front, the teammate of Hannah Barnes here, really beginning to raise the pace.
She is. Trixie Worak's burying herself for this, and Hannah Barnes is now on the front, approaching the sprint.
Easy for Hannah Barnes. She's been launched perfectly to the line, and she's going to get the 3 points. Second is Majuras for 2 and 1 for Kirchmann.
That was an incredible team effort there by Canyon SRAM. Very, very impressive.
But the time is very, very important there, because 3 seconds going to Hannah Barnes. Let's tidy up the sprint first. 3 to Barnes, 2 to Majuras and 1 to Kirchmann. That is the overall result now of the Iceberg Sprint competition. So Majuras has clinched that and deposed the all of the original lead. But what it means now is, thanks to that time bonus for Barnes, she is now tying with Kirchmann, equal third.
That's right, and I think this means that if she finishes in the top 3, she could secure a podium.
Welcome back to London on this glorious sunny day for the final stage of the OVO Energy Women's Tour, and the race is approaching the conclusion of the penultimate lap. Glorious shot there of the London Eye, and anybody that's on the top of that will have a fantastic view of the city. But the field now massing together, getting themselves organised, ready for this concluding sprint. Let me tell you that 2 classifications are already decided. Audrey Cordon, who is the Queen of the Mountains, she won that Skoda Queen of the Mountains yesterday, and thanks to her sprinting skills today, the Iceberg Sprint classification has now been won by Christine Mazuras.
We've got a much reduced peloton here. Obviously the high pace has really shelled riders off the back.
So it's going to be all about positioning yourself for the seconds bonuses that are on the line at the end of this. It's 10 for first, 6 for second and 4 for third. Let me just tell you the standings as they're getting nearer to the line where they'll hear the bell. Nui Adoma is still leading comfortably by 1 minute and 22 seconds ahead of Mazuras. And then tying for third place is Hannah Barnes with Leah Kirchmann there, 1 minute 36 back. And that is going to be the key sprint.
Look at this though, on the front we've got, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Boels Dolmans riders all in a straight line. They're really ramping up the pace. They want to control this race.
And they're looking after the interests, of course, of the Luxembourg champion.
There's an attack by Ashley Moorman from Bigler.
So Ashley Moorman from Bigler is the first rider to attack. She crosses the line now, and it's just 1 lap to go.
Longo Borghini spotted that though, and she's chasing that down.
Yep, because she does not want anybody to get clear, because Wiggle High Five have got 2 very good sprinters. That's Giorgia Bronzini, twice a world champion, and Jolene Dora, who is a world marathon champion and very, very quick. So they'll want to contain this, because Wiggle High Five have not won a stage so far.
They haven't, and they really want this stage win.
And they are 2 big players if they can contain the field, Bronzini and Dora.
Dora, of course, won the last World Tour stage race, the Tour of Chongming in China.
The field holding a tight line here, and they're all back together, and it is Wiggle High Five that's on the front. Look at this now, the field is stretching out. You can see there's a certain amount of fragmentation here as riders cling for the wheel. That tells us that the pace really is high.
You can see Neva Doma here in the green jersey trying to move up just here as they turn the corner.
The field now are in Regent Street as they start to thread their way back. They're queuing up further back.
Oh, these riders are going to struggle now right at the back.
Out of the saddle and getting that gear wound up again as we look down, and it's Savello Bigla right on the sharp end of the contest.
I think that's Ashley Moorman-Passio still on the front here with Longo Borghini from Wiggle in the black jersey behind her.
Riders trying to move up all the time. Just got a glimpse there of Lisa Klein, who was the early leader in the Iceberg Sprints classification.
Got Balls Dormans on the front now with Trixie Walrack from Hannah Barnes's team just behind.
Yeah, Bowles Dolmans, they'll want to contain this as well. They'll be looking after the interests of Christine Mazuras, because Mazuras will be out to try and pick up more seconds on the line. She's had a very, very good day in this final stage, having clinched 2 second places in the sprints and picked up 4 seconds.
The teams will be trying to organise their sprint train as we come into the closing kilometres, so I'm sure we'll be able to see these jerseys all together in certain parts of the road.
Everybody wants to nail this one. Winning a stage right in the heart of the iconic city of London is really something to be proud of.
That's right, it's just like in winning on the Champs-Élysées, it has just a similar type of feeling.
Still Bowles Dolmans on the front. In fact, they've been very, very busy all the stage. They were the cause of the split very, very early on when they forged a break, when almost the whole team were ahead.
That's right, and here we've got 1, 2, 3, and then Christine Majerus, of course, who they want to try and maintain in second place on GC.
2 riders from Ayla Cipollini starting to move forward as well. Now, I'll tell you what, they've got 2 cards to play. They've got Bastianelli, the former champion of the world, and the fastest sprinter there, Chloe Hosking, who's already had a stage victory in this race.
You can see how high the pace is now, though. The riders really lined out. It's nearly single file.
And a little bit of breaking up at the back as well, but just look at the line at the front. The pace being tapped out here is electric.
Cipollini got 3 riders altogether, Bowles Dolmans 4 riders at the front. Sunweb are also organising their train there, you could see, with Lucinda Brandt on the front.
It's a huge bonus for the Obo Energy Women's Tour to tidy it up with a criterium style stage in the heart of the city.
You can also see here the FD Day team they're a French team, they're in the blue and white. Of course, we've seen Charlotte Gillot the last 2 days, very active in the breaks.
Yeah, 29-year-old Australian Gillot. So she's up near the front as well, but I can't see her being able to mix it with the great sprinters. There are quite a few in here that are good. We've already mentioned Bronzini and Dora. Grace Elvin of Orica Scott, another good finisher. Leah Kirchman, she's somebody else to look out for on Team Sunweb. And remember, Kirchman is tying with Barnes at 1:36 bar, and they're both teeing themselves up for a tilt at a possible 3rd place on the podium.
Some great shots of London here.
That's St Mary Le Strand Church, dedicated in 1723, so we're approximately 3 kilometres from the finish now.
And Bowles Dolman's still driving this on the front. They've been on the front for a long time now.
So other sprinters are going to profit from this if they are quite keen just to keep the tempo up at the front.
That's right, and it's interesting because Bowles Dolmans don't really have a very good bunch sprinter. They obviously have good sprinters on their team, but not from such a big bunch if you compare to, for example, Wiggle High Five with Jolien de Hoor.
Yeah, they're more happy with a smaller group, aren't they, Bowles Dolmans?
That's right, and any number of them can sprint from a small group.
Yeah, whereas Jolene Dora, she can mix it with a big group, and she has track speed as well. She came away from the World Championships in Hong Kong with a gold medal and a bronze medal, the gold coming in the Madison now. Once again, Danny King started to come through.
Yeah, Danny King's back up there. Of course, she's also a very fast finisher.
Well, there's a lot of riders in the mix here. They all want to get into the right position with a chance of clinching this prestigious final stage.
Here we have Katie Archibald. She's on the shoulder of Ashley Moorman.
2 kilometres to go.
You can see the Canyon SRAM team of Hannah Barnes all around her on the left-hand side of the screen.
So Hannah Barnes looking to try and get one of the bonuses on the line. 10 for the win, 6 for second, 4 for third.
And this is, of course, Hannah's last race in the national, well, she's not wearing the jersey, but as national champion, because in a couple of weeks we have the national championships.
Well, it doesn't matter who gets the 10 on the line, they cannot change the positions of the top two. Nui Adoma's out of reach, and Majuras at 1:22 is 14 seconds ahead of Barnes and Kirchmann, who are joint third. So it will not change those two positions. It's all about who is going to fill the third spot on the podium.
This is a great shot of the leading trains, though. We've got WNT here too. It's nice to see a British team in the mix.
Another shot there of Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament, and good to see the Union flag flying. But there are the field taking the turn again for the concluding time. Just on the left, the War Rooms, and ahead at Downing Street, and you can see the cenotaph. The riders won't have any time to be looking at that. They're concentrating fully here.
We've got Lisa Brenner, previous world champion, on the front here. She'll be protecting Hannah Barnes. She's keeping that pace high.
It certainly is going to be a fantastic sprint, this, to tidy up the race.
Chloe Hoskins is there. You can see in the orange helmet. She's in with the mix. Of course, already won one stage this time.
Inside the OVO Energy final kilometre. I also caught a glimpse of Katie Archibald up there.
Yeah, the road's quite wide here. This is causing it quite difficult because the riders are all spread out. They're trying to organise their trains, but it's going to be quite frantic.
On the front now is Van der Breggen, the Olympic champion, looking to set up the lead out here then for Majuras. Majuras, the champion of Luxembourg, in a very, very good position now. Now just looking for Barnes.
Barnes is there on the pink jersey on the left-hand side. She's coming up. She's on Majerus's wheel. That's a good wheel.
So Barnes then looking here now to try and outpace Kirchmann for the third place. And I can't see Kirchmann.
No, I could see Chloe Hoskins there, though. She's coming up.
So Hoskins is up there, and she'll be out to try and get the stage victory. Very, very quick finisher. Now then, who's going to be the first to lead this one out?
Yeah, they've done the final turn now. This is a critical point in the race.
Just around about 150 metres to go, and it's Jolien Dora in the middle, the Belgian World Marathon champion, looking to try and nail this one as they get nearer and nearer to the line. There it is then, Jolien Dora takes it and gives a salute, but in second place is Hannah Barnes, and how important is that? Barnes will pick up 6 seconds, and that 6 seconds will elevate her into third place on the podium.
So it's an incredible ride from Hannah Barnes. She had the whole team behind her, and she started this stage behind in 5th place, and she's moved up onto the podium with this incredible finish. She just comes around on the outside. Brilliant second place.
Great win there for Dora, but Barnes makes it onto the podium. It's the second time Jolien Dora has won a stage of the Women's Tour. The previous one was in 2015. Hannah Barnes got second, and Christine Majuras was third. Roxane Fournier came in fourth, and Katie Archibald was fifth. So the winner of the London stage of the OVO Energy Women's Tour is the reigning World Marathon champion, Jolien Dora. Audrey Cordon had already sewn up the Skoda Queen of the Mountains jersey on yesterday's stage. But the Iceberg Sprints classification went down to the wire. Christine Majuras eventually claiming the jersey by 2 points from Jolien Dora. Christine Majuras was back on the podium to collect the Wiggle Points jersey.
My teammates were really strong, and they helped me being in positioning till the end, and it's really nice week for us. I mean, Kasia did a really good job in the first stage, and what was left was fighting for second in the GC and for stages, and I think we did a pretty good work with both stormers.
The Adnams Best British Rider jersey, or as it's become known this year, the Battle of the Barnes Sisters, was won in the end by Hannah.
I'm really pleased. I've been close to the podium in this race twice now to make it. I'm really happy. It was a massive team goal going into specifically this final stage. The meeting was just go for those intermediate sprints, get as many seconds as I could, and then see what happens, and just go into the finish with, just do everything I can.
And to be the best placed British rider as well. Over the course of the week, you and your sister have been vying for that from day one, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been actually really funny. Kind of almost a joke, but yeah, I'm pleased to have broken the pattern today.
Katarzyna Nui-Adoma has been in the green jersey since stage 1, and now she's confirmed as the winner of the 2017 OVO Energy Women's Tour. The Polish champion with a comprehensive victory. Christine Majuras holds on to second place, and Hannah Barnes completes the top 3. With her sister Alice finishing 6th and Danny King 9th, there were 3 Brits in the top 10.
Well, Kasia Niewiadoma has held that green jersey from the start to the finish of this year's Women's Tour. Congratulations on a fine ride. When you set off on your own all those days ago, did you have in your mind that you'd be wearing this green jersey and taking the win here today?
Thank you so much. Yeah, coming here to UK, I didn't expect that I can have a green jersey from the first stage, especially that it was meant to be a sprint stage, so I was like looking forward to help Marianne there. Of course, we tried to create a different situations, and I saw there my opportunity, which I took, and it ended up with a stage victory and a quite nice advantage in the GC. So I'm super delighted and pleased that I could bring it here to London and yeah, enjoy the victory with my team.
And your first World Tour victory as well. A very special day today.
Yeah, definitely. I was really looking and waiting for that victory for a long time. Ardennes Classics were like for me super important, and I thought I can have a victory there, but yeah, it didn't work out. So I'm super happy that finally this day came.
It was a fantastic ride, and Rochelle, right from day one, we saw what a superstar Kasia was, and to have defended that jersey so well this week is just as impressive as that opening day stage win.
Absolutely. I mean, the first day was one of the most impressive rides I've seen in the history of women's cycling from Kasia, so that was a special day. But then losing her strongest teammate in Marianne Vos must have been a big mental hit as well. So I think the challenges that Kasia has had this week, with everybody trying to work against her to take that green jersey off her, she's done an incredible job, and I think it's just an inspiration to what's actually possible as an individual, but also with your teammates just getting the lift and the morale of the leader doing so well.
A longer Women's Tour this year and some very long stages, and of course finishing here in London, in the capital. Just how much have you enjoyed this week?
Oh, so much. This Women's Tour has provided everything. It was so unpredictable every stage. It was slightly strange racing because it was so unpredictable. It didn't go to script. We had a lot of different winners and a lot of different challengers trying to, take from the first day that green jersey from Kasia Niewiadoma. So coming into London, today's race was one of the most exciting we've ever seen, because we had so many challenges within one race. Riders going for GC, the sprint, the points jersey, and then the sprint from Jolien Daughter from Wiggle High Five at the end was the highlight of the day in London.
Yeah, it was a fantastic finish from Jolien Daughter to take that win. But of course, Kasia, our winner overall of this year's OVO Energy Women's Tour. Many congratulations, and thank you so much. Thank you for everything this week. That brings to a close our coverage of the Women's Tour. Rochelle, thanks for your company this week, and we will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.